I believe there's a lot of fake outrage right now because nearly every single president who has lived in this beautiful White House behind me has made modernizations and renovations of their own.
So while the White House says the outrage is fake, the demolition, construction, upgrades, however you want to characterize it, they're very real. The question's also very real. Among them, who's paying for it? The president has said as recently as Tuesday that this $200 million project is fully paid for by private donors, including himself. Some of those names have been released, but the White House has still not put out a comprehensive list or a breakdown of the donations. And just about 24 hours ago, when news broke that the president was seeking a settlement from the Justice Department over past investigations into him, he suggested maybe that money, taxpayer money, could foot the bill.
If I get money from our country, I'll do something nice with it, like give it to charity or give it to the White House where we restore the White House. And we're doing a great job in the White House. As you know, the ballroom is under construction.
So there's an element to this mansion makeover that we're seeing. Unity, Democrats mostly outraged, and Republicans, for the most part, taking a different approach.
What about just uprooting this is an iconic building?
Manu, I will just say this. I made this point yesterday, that I hear all of a sudden from my liberal friends that they're very concerned about our history. Really, these are the same people who tore down every statue they could get their hands on in the last 4 years. Christopher Columbus, Thomas Jefferson, Theodore Roosevelt. They didn't have any concern for history then. Now all of a sudden, they're like, the facade of the East Wing is iconic. Oh, give me a break. I mean, give me a break.
All right, let's get off the sidelines, head into the arena. My panel is here. CNN legal analyst Ellie Williams, Republican strategist and pollster Kristen Soltis Anderson, former Democratic Congressman of South Carolina Joe Cunningham, and Republican strategist, former Trump campaign advisor David Urban. We're also joined by the author and journalist Kate Anderson Brower. She's written several New York Times best-selling books about the White House, among other accolades. On the left side of your screen, we are joined by our arena text chain with additional analysis from some of our top reporters and contributors. And Kate Anderson Brower, before we dig into the politics of this, I wanted to bring you in to give us a sense of what is gone, right? Because we're now understanding that essentially the entire East Wing is to be demolished, that was shown in some of the renderings that the White House had released over the summer. But of course, it was overlooked in many ways because the president had gone out and said, well, it's just going to be nearby. It's not going to be overtaking the East Wing. If the East Wing is gone, what does that mean? What has gone with it?
Well, it'll mean the First Lady will have no place to work. Her staff will have no place to work inside the White House itself. They'll be probably working in the Eisenhower Executive Office building. But it's heartbreaking, I think, to see those images of the East Wing being demolished because it is so symbolic of the president's spouse and the already limited role that a president's spouse has. The White House is a presidential home. It's not a palace. And so I think people are up in arms because it's going to be very lopsided to have a 90,000 square foot addition on a 55,000 square foot house.
So it's essentially twice the size, or almost twice the size, as what will exist there. That's remarkable. Can you walk us through, what history was in this part of the building? When people say that there should have been more input from historians or others, what's there that's now been destroyed?
Well, it's been where the First Lady has worked since 1977. It's where Rosalind Carter started going to the East Wing every day. Before then, even Eleanor Roosevelt worked from the residence. But, when Michelle Obama was First Lady, there was a staff of upwards of 20 people there. She and Dr. Biden would go to their offices all the time. I know that I spoke with one of Dr. Biden's aides who said even after the first Trump term, so much of the East Wing offices had been given over to the military who had made SCIFs there. So a lot of Dr. Biden's staff already worked in the Eisenhower Executive Office building, which is difficult when you're trying to write speeches and craft memos. But Teddy Roosevelt created the East Wing and Franklin Roosevelt expanded it to cover up in construction of the presidential bunker during World War II. But it's an important symbolic part of American history. And that is why I think people are so up in arms seeing it bulldozed like this.
Yeah. So let's talk about this. David Urban, it does seem that while obviously
not up in arms, but
Caroline Leavitt is out there, saying this outrage is fake. David, they do seem to also be trying to suppress photos of it, right? Which seems to suggest that they might know that this doesn't look great. Mm-hmm.
yeah, I mean, I just make a historical note. I think Dr. Joe Biden worked out of the Oval Office. But sorry.
Okay.
Listen, I think I'm not privy to what is what they're tearing down or what the remnants of the White House look like on that side. But I had heard people talk about they don't want to have pictures out to maybe compromise what the windows look like, some of the security apparatus that's in place at the White House that keeps the president and his family and others at work there safe. So I can't believe that. They don't. No one's taking pictures of a lot of stuff, especially in and around the White House and the inner machinations of the. If you go up to the windows in the Oval or some of these places, they're really thick, and I'm sure they would take umbrage if you started snapping candids of a lot of that stuff when you're in there to begin with, let alone from across the street where you're really getting, our adversaries.
I mean, in fairness, right now, what they're taking pictures of is not going to be there, in however many months.
No, it's
right?
nothing. And I think, this visual is not great, but I'd say let's wait for a few 18 months, 24 months. The new reimagined East Wing may be much better. There may be bigger offices. There may be SCIFs. I don't think it's going to be simply a 90,000 square foot ballroom you're going to walk in.
Really? Because the president says it's going to be a 90,000.
It's going to be just a giant ballroom. It's going to be like a gymnasium. I think there'll be offices. There'll be places to work. There'll be perhaps increased space for other people that work in the White House. So I would say everybody needs to exhale. Let's just wait and see.
Congressman?
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
well, except you.
I'll exhale. Look, I think the optics are bad in the sense, I know the history is significant, but it's just like your boss in a company going out and buying a new car or a new house while they're doing layoffs within the company. Or
it's a little bit let them eat cake.
Yeah.
Is that what you're saying?
Similar to that, but yeah, the optics are bad as Americans are struggling to survive and afford health care and all the issues, and meanwhile the government's shut down and this renovation is taking place. But this shouldn't be the story that Democrats focus on. It should be more of a byline in a larger issue, in that the administration is sending billions of dollars to other governments. He's seeking hundreds of millions of dollars for his own pockets out of the DOJ, the $200 million renovation. All the while Americans are suffering.
But be fair, just to put a big note on this. $200 million is donated to the National Park Service, right? It's not going to Donald Trump, it's going to the Park Service, which is then using the money to do this construction. So it's not like Donald Trump sit with a checkbook, or anybody in the Trump campaign has a checkbook. It's the people who build monuments, who build these buildings on the mall, are writing the checks and funding this. And
should be some transparency, though.
Kate looks like she wants to jump in. Kate, did you have something on that?
Well, I think that ethically it's a little bit of a murky territory, because they know when they're giving lots and lots of money, these giant corporations, and we know some of the names already, it's got to be to curry favor with the administration.
Or maybe they just love our country.
Okay.
Elliot, jump in.
When the White House was created, it's interesting because George Washington, going way back, rejected the idea of a White House rendering that was 5 times the size of what ended up being built. And because coming on the heels of the revolution, he wanted it to be clear that this was a democracy, this wasn't a monarchy. And so having an enormous presidential palace, which is what this is going to end up looking like, is just not what the White House stands for, not what this country stands for.
Yeah.
It's like he wanted to say there would be no king.
No king. I agree. This is probably not the hill to die on when the government shut down and when people and the economy is struggling and so on. But there are a few questions, and Kate touched on this a little bit in terms of the transparency, that I just think as Americans we're entitled to know. When Amazon, Apple, and Coinbase are donating up to, I believe, $25 million on a project, I think we as the American people have a right to know how much of it's being spent, where it's going, and so on, number one. Number two, did they follow proper permitting procedures? And yeah, it's the President of the United States, he can do whatever he wants, but it's also a major piece of construction that we don't really know how they comported and behaved within the confines of the law in doing it, because it all happened really quickly, and the next thing you know, they're bulldozers to the White House. And maybe they did, but certainly the answers out of the White House that sort of amount to saying your mom when asked questions about how they're proceeding, they're just sort of leaving some ambiguity about that too. And then finally, historic preservation, and this is not fuddy-duddy, like, oh, we want the buildings to be pretty. No, there are procedures in place when you are changing the facade of a major government building.